Hi there, thank you for joining us on our webinar today where we're going to be introducing DeltaNet to our Cylix customers. We'll just give it a few minutes while we're waiting for some other attendees to join us and we'll get started in about a minute's time. Just give it another minute while we're waiting for other people to join the webinar. Just another minute and then we'll get started. Just give it till 1 minute past and see people are still coming in. Great, so I think we'll start. So thank you so much for joining us on our webinar this afternoon where we're going to be introducing DeltaNet to our Cylix customers. So we've just got a few housekeeping notes for you before we get started. So I need to let you know that we are recording this session to allow us to share it with those who are unable to join us this afternoon, but we'll also be forwarding a link to this recording to you all following the session for your reference should you wish to share it with anybody else. You've probably noticed that you're all muted. So if you have any issues or any queries at all with this session, please pop your queries into the chat and our team will be able to answer those questions for you. I'm sure you are going to have lots of questions as we work through today, but there will be an opportunity for you to ask any questions within our Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So we'll get started now. Hopefully everybody can hear us okay and the sound's okay, but if there are any queries, then please do pop them in the chat and we'll be keeping an eye on that. So let's take a look at our agenda, what we're going to cover today. So I'll shortly introduce you to your panelists for this afternoon session. We'll then hear an overview and a potted history of DeltaNet International and go on to look at the many additional products and services now available to Cylix customers. I'm going to explain what this relationship will mean for you and then provide a summary of next steps and actions, and then we'll open up for questions. So to begin, I'm delighted to introduce you to our panelists today. You'll shortly be hearing from Darren Hockley, DeltaNet's Managing Director, who will provide an overview of the company for you. Prior to his role at DeltaNet International, Darren worked for several private and public sector organisations, combining strong technical skills with commercial acumen and leadership. DeltaNet International is now acknowledged as a leading provider of compliance, health, safety, security and environment e-learning solutions to customers all around the world, and Darren's played a pivotal role in developing this business. Darren often speaks at e-learning and compliance conferences and is regularly published for his thought leadership. And away from work, he juggles family life and the demands of his 4 children with his other interests of walking, cycling, Aston Villa FC and watching international cricket. Joe Mockson is DeltaNet's Partnerships Manager, and he'll be providing an overview of the additional products and services now available to Cylix customers through this new relationship. Following completion of a sports development degree, Joe became part of DeltaNet in August 2014 as a client account executive, responsible for maintaining strong relationships across the company's base. Quickly developing his business acumen and e-learning skills, Joe is now an integral member of the DeltaNet team and responsible for establishing and developing DeltaNet's partnership network. Away from work, Joe enjoys playing football on the weekend as part of local Loughborough team Falcons FC, and seeing new parts of the world with regular trips away. And I'm Wendy Stanley, joining the DeltaNet family as Senior Relationship Manager with Cylix, and I'm delighted to have had the pleasure of meeting many of you already over the last few weeks. I have a strong e-learning background, having worked within the digital learning space for over 17 years with hundreds of organisations across every size and sector. And I'm also very honoured to have worked with many of the talented Cylix team in a previous life, so I understand the business well. I'm also really passionate about building strong and lasting relationships that are built on trust and confidence to help you meet your business objectives and support your success. I'm home based in Gloucestershire, where my Cocker Spaniel keeps me company in my office on most work days, and today is no different. You can probably see her in the chair behind me. So many of you will have the pleasure of meeting her on our calls, I'm sure. So without further ado, I'll now hand over to Darren, who's going to welcome you to the DeltaNet family.
Thank you, Wendy, and good afternoon, everyone. Warm welcome to this briefing today. We really appreciate you giving up your time. We know how precious time is, so we will hopefully make it very valuable and give you a good return in terms of sharing with you what we are, who we are as a business, and how we can help you moving forward. I'm going to take about 5 minutes just to set the scene, as Wendy says, to tell you a little bit more about DeltaNet, our history, and also just tee up Joe for the next session, which is around the additional products and services that DeltaNet can bring to you if you are interested in finding out more of those. So in terms of DeltaNet and who we are, we're global leaders in compliance and health and safety e-learning. We are very strong in compliance and health and safety in particular, but we do also offer performance improvement, e-learning content, and a very sophisticated e-learning platform called Astute, which we can introduce you to in a while. As a business, we invest considerably in the products. We've got a very strong investment stream in terms of building up those products, and that will be reflected, I think, on some of the information that you'll find out today. But we set out to be highly innovative. We set out to lead the industry, and we set out to come up with really novel, engaging solutions that really make e-learning quite different and enjoyable for learners. When you're talking compliance and health and safety, that's a challenge. We appreciate that. People don't often want to complete this, but we kind of give them a reason to want to do that. And we coined the phrase refreshing e-learning, refreshing for people that roll out and buy e-learning, in that they can see that it's quite different and quite innovative, but also refreshing from the learner's perspective in that it really does freshen up their knowledge. So just moving on to let you know some of the clients that we work with. DeltaNet have got around about 750 active clients, from very small organisations right up to some of the biggest brands in the world. So Sony in the top left-hand corner, one of our biggest clients. We produced e-learning that's been rolled out to 130,000 employees globally, just touching just about every country in the world. But our roots are very much in the UK. 90% of our customers are based in the UK, and we're used to working with organisations both in the private, public and not-for-profit sector. So you'll see a really broad representation of the type of organisations that we work with on a regular basis. Okay. In terms of a little bit more about the company itself, DeltaNet, we're based in Loughborough in the East Midlands, just opposite the university. If anyone knows Loughborough, it is dominated by the university. It's a big university town. And in terms of size, I would say we're around about 3 times the size of the Cylix team, both in terms of the headcount, the number of people we've got, and also looking at revenues that we achieve. But we're still small in relative terms, so we consider ourselves to be a warm, friendly, family-type business where people count, people matter, and we're really passionate about delivering highly engaging, high quality services and solutions to our clients, and backing that up with really good support. And I think when you look at that and you look at our values, we very closely align to the way Cylix have been set up and the type of organisation you've been used to working. So we're hoping that you'll see a very strong continuation of that as we progress and bring those two businesses closer together. Okay, in terms of a little bit of history about the organisation, again, similarly, I've shared many conversations with Stephen Price of Cylix, and we've reminisced on the history, because if we look at the two organisations, they've almost been running a parallel journey over a very similar timeline. So we were first founded in 1999. I set up the business, and we went from 2 employees at that point to where we are today, and I've been involved in the business throughout that entire journey. In a very similar way to Cylix, we started life building bespoke solutions. So we worked predominantly with public sector organisations to put very specific bespoke solutions together. What we did find was that we were constantly being asked to work on similar topic areas, particularly around health and safety and compliance areas. So we started working in partnership with a lot of our clients to put some early off-the-shelf content solutions together, and we packaged that up, and by the end of 2008 we launched that as our first off-the-shelf suite of e-learning content. Since then we've launched 3 suites of content reflecting our strength areas of compliance, health and safety and performance, and I've built up a really strong reputation and a lot of loyal customers that have been with us for a long period of time using those solutions. Increasingly over the last 5 to 10 years, we've really stepped up the innovation. So back in 2015, we joined an open source project called Adapt, which key focus was building multi-device e-learning. So all of the solutions we offer today work beautifully on smartphones, tablets, desktops, laptops, you name it, they will work on that solution and work very well. We've also pioneered some of the more novel approaches around e-learning to drive engagement. So we've got a lot of micro-learning modules. In our case, we call those micro-learning modules Take Fives, and it's take 5 minutes to learn about one key important point. Joe will share more with you on that later. We've also embraced gamification to again drive a sense of challenge through completing the e-learning, but we've been very careful about the way we've used gamification, so it's not gimmicky and it doesn't belittle the learning experience. So we've been very sensitive around how those approaches have been applied to use it as a good method for engagement, but not to alienate learners. In terms of gearing up now, we've been in a significant growth span, and for the last 4 to 5 years pre-pandemic, we're experiencing significant growth. So we've moved into larger purpose-built offices that will enable that growth to continue, and culminating really in 2020, where we joined Marlowe PLC. Marlowe PLC are an AIM-listed health and safety and regulatory compliance business with an increasing focus on software solutions, software as a service, where both DeltaNet and Cylix fit into that. So we welcomed Cylix into that e-learning division earlier this year, and we've been working with the Cylix team for 6 months now to really identify the strengths and weaknesses of both organisations, and how by merging those two organisations together, we can become a stronger business and offer better quality solutions, better service to both sets of clients moving forward. And today is the culmination of that in terms of announcing what we are as a business and how we're structured to really support you moving forward. So moving on to my last slide now, really looking at a top level view of what Cylix and DeltaNet look like combined. So you'll see on the right hand side Some figures that will crop up again in the presentation, but the key thing here is that collectively we are stronger together. We have more courses, we cover more topics, and we serve more customers in a similar area. So by joining the teams together, we hope and plan to harness that passion for developing really high quality learning solutions, working with a really talented Cylix colleagues that will integrate into our teams and add further strength to some very talented and strong teams already. We can also bring to you overnight some real key product strengths. So we offer Astute, which is an alternative to the Illumos platform that Cylix offer, and we've already started introducing this to a number of Cylix customers who have been very taken with the capabilities of the platform and have been very keen to move across to that platform to get the benefits of that. We've got that much larger catalogue of courses, and that's in terms of breadth and depth. So we, from a breadth point of view, we offer more courses across more topics, but in terms of depth, we were able to offer a lot more alternatives to the same topic, which enable you to keep content fresh, engaging, and keep your learners' knowledge levels at the levels you need them to be to remain compliant. And my last point before handing over to Joe is that by merging the team and in some areas removing some of the duplication of effort, it means that as we move forwards, we've got more opportunities to expand and accelerate the additional products and services we're able to offer you moving forward. And we're really excited about that. And hopefully by the time we've wrapped up today and you've seen a sample of what we're able to offer, you'll start to feel the same. So with that in mind, I'm going to introduce you to Joe, a colleague of mine that's been beavering away working at DeltaNet for, I think it's at least 7 years, isn't it, Joe? So well vested within the product, a real product specialist within the team, who'll talk you through some of the products and services that we're able to provide.
Perfect. So thank you, Darren, for that introduction, and also thank you, Wendy, for your words earlier. As Darren mentioned, what I've been asked to do today to talk you through is what DeltaNet can do for Cylix customers and what effectively we offer. Not wanting to cover too much ground that Darren's already mentioned, but you can see from this slide that we specialise in high quality, effective e-learning solutions. And what we have done as an organisation is categorise our specialities into 3 content areas, which are compliance, health and safety, and performance management, so that we provide organisations with a well-rounded suite of courses that enables them to protect their organisation from a number of different aspects. What we then produced is a platform which we call Astute, which enables our customers to access that content and also build on their training programs with a number of additional features and functionalities that the system can provide to enhance how that solution is put together and managed. Finally, what's still core to the business today from our origins is the ability to create bespoke content, and we support customers in a variety of different ways, whether it's creating a new course from scratch or whether it's looking at our off-the-shelf content and making adjustments to meet specific user requirements. We still retain that core ability within our training product. Now, one thing that we did when we looked at both Cylix and DeltaNet's core skills was a deep dive into how we complement each other. And what we quickly established through that consultation was that Cylix's key strength lies in their content, and that's been backed up by a number of conversations that we've had with Cylix customers that actually reiterate how important and how good that content is received internally. One thing that we did identify as part of that is that there is a big opportunity for Cylix customers with the Astute platform, because when we compared the 2 systems, Illumos and Astute, the amount of functionality and additional features that Astute offers really gives Cylix customers the ability to improve on One, how they administer their training programs, but two, also creating business links with a number of different and new features. And what we'll do is we'll just play a very quick video just to introduce the Astute platform to you.
Your employees are continuously learning. How can you support this activity intelligently? Connecting people to the learning content they need when they need it most. Introducing Astute. Astute is intelligently designed to support each user's unique learning journey. Advanced data analysis means personalized content is curated for each learner and relevant learning opportunities are highlighted seamlessly as you work. With Astute, learning becomes a fundamental part of working life, and learners can take responsibility for their own training activities. Learning pathways are made easy as content is promoted to help support career development. Led by artificial intelligence, the more you use Astute, the more the platform learns about the way you work and the content you need and like to see. This leaves you with more time to focus on what matters. Don't compromise on experience. Work smart. Be astute.
Next slide, please, Wendy. So what we can see from that video is Astute's been developed as a next generation solution that really centers around the user experience that learners engage with to both digest and engage with learning content. And AI has been really key in Astute's development so that it's able to be designed intelligently to provide smart recommendations so that content is provided to users as and when they need. This is then backed up with a number of automation features that have been built within Astute, and automation is, really at the heart of the design of the platform, so that the system can work for you as an organization and actually reduce the manual inputs that are associated with your legacy systems. This is then backed up again with some advanced reporting capabilities. So all of the data within the platform that can be captured, there is a enhanced user experience reporting platform that can really digest and display the content data in a way that's useful for administrators. It's also a cloud-based solution, which means that learners can access the training anywhere at any time with a connection to the internet. And we've also developed a My Astute app, which would also allow them to access and digest their content in an offline mode, meaning that Astute really provides a platform for users to engage with content as and when needed. When we look at the Astute platform, if you can move to the next slide, please, Wendy. When we look at the Astute platform, there's really three key areas that we can enhance how you manage your training program. And the first one of this is how the administration is put together. And this all happens within Astute's Organization Management Hub. And we've just pinpointed a couple of the key features here that I'll talk you through from a high-level overview. The first one is the ability for you to add in additional fields that really allows you to capture additional data against users, which can be used for the automated features of the platform, but it can also be used to help you report and share reports automatically with different stakeholders. So Astute allows you to capture that data that's required. If we look at the Learners tab, this is the hub where, as an organisation, you're able to engage with the platform to add and manage your user database. This can be done singularly, or it can be done via a CSV import. But I think the key thing to mention here is Astute's been developed with a number of additional integration options available for you to enhance the usability of the platform. So we can manage single sign-on, which will allow your users to automatically be assigned automatically authenticate into the platform, so it negates the need for another username and password. And we've also got a API developed that would allow you to link our Astute platform with third-party systems. This is more commonly done with HR platforms, and the types of integrations that are possible is automatic database management. So users can be automatically pulled through to the Asu platform and land in this Learners tab area. But it can also do things like pass results back through to the HR platform so that both systems can be working in unison and reducing that manual upload of having to maintain two systems. We then got an enrollments area, and the enrollment area has had a number of features added in to increase the automation of the platform. So what this enables you to do is create a number of enrollment events that shares content with users automatically, and it can also be set up to share content with users on an ongoing basis. And it also gives you the ability to share different content with users on a periodic basis. So it could be set up in a way that users access one set of courses in the first year for annual refresher training. They're then enrolled onto a new set of training automatically. It's also got a number of rules that can be created so that you can share content with different profiles of users automatically, so that the system can automatically share all of those content for you and actually reduce a lot of the administrative overload of platform maintenance. We then have a couple of features within the organization management for trigger emails and scheduled emails, and these are automated communication that can be set up to be fired from the platform to share and communicate with your users when they have got key objectives to interact with the platform for. So things like welcome messages can be set up and sent to users. They can be notified when they have got activities to take. They can be jogged when activities are overdue and need to be completed, so that the platform really works for you and makes sure that learners are engaging with the platform as and when required. We then got a couple of additional features in this area that can support you with a couple of different aspects. And the first one to talk about is the training record store. And within this area, the training record stores offers you the ability to capture any historical data that would have been built up from your Alumnos platform, so that you can drop that into Astute and report on any historical data that has been created. But it also allows you a hub to input any additional training that happens in a face-to-face external environment, so that you can create a record and set a number of reminders for when that record needs to be updated by learners. Finally, the organization management has an area for a phishing simulation tool. And this phishing simulation tool allows you to send your users targeted campaigns of phishing emails that, depending on how that user interacts with that email, can automatically enroll them onto some follow-up training, so that as an organization you can be rest assured that your learners are upskilled around the latest cybersecurity and have access to training as and when that training is required. You can flip through to the next slide, please. The next area that the Astute platform can assist you with, and there'll be a number of key benefits to your organization, is within the content management area. Now, Astute's been developed that not only can it share course content and maintain the course training program, but there are a number of features above and beyond that allow you to put together a really robust training program. The first one to mention is this courses area, and within the courses area you would find access to all of the courses that we have that you've subscribed to, but it also gives you the ability to add in any external third-party content, so that if there were any courses that you have access to from an additional provider, you'll be able to drop them all into Astute so that they're managed in the same system, which then means all of records are retained against the employees in the same place. It also gives you the ability, depending on what your subscription is, to copy and edit our course content, so that you've got a self-service model to make any customization as required. Now, a couple of the other additional features that the platform can offer and support you with is there's a full face-to-face resources area, which allows you to input any face-to-face training sessions that you're running internally, so that Users can be notified as and when they have a face-to-face course to attend, but also an electronic record can be stored within the Astute platform within that learner's profile, so that you can see not only what e-learning content they've completed, but also what face-to-face courses they've attended. Another feature of the platform is the ability for you to create a number of electronic forms that you can then send through to users for approval. And the use case for this are forms such as whistleblowing hotlines, accident reporting forms, gifts and hospitality, so that the platform also becomes a hub for additional activities, and it also records all of the responses. So for an audit purpose, you can see what forms have been submitted and how they have been managed internally. One big feature that the platform can offer, and would be one real improvement with how it's currently done with the Lumos system, is a policy management feature. Now, this policy management feature allows you to upload documentation that you're wanting to share with users onto the Astute platform directly, and share that with learners so that they can self-certify onto that policy, which provides you with a full audit trail of who's seen what policy and when they've selected or when they've ascertained that they've seen that policy. So again, that you can create a full audit record of what courses, what face-to-face events, and also what policy users have interacted with within the platform. We've then got a quick quiz feature, and the quick quiz feature provides you with functionality to create a assessment from a really easy wizard, and this is for any assessments or quizzes that you'd like to put together that sit outside of the training courses, so that the platform again can be an interaction hub for a number of different areas, but can also provide the reassurances that users are engaging and learning as they go through the platform. We then have a full risk assessment engine, and as an organisation we've created a number of generic risk assessments that you would be able to access from display screen equipment, home working, driving at work. And what the risk assessment area allows you to do is track and mitigate a number of risks that users can highlight, so that as an organisation you can record what risks have been identified, but also ensure that the follow-up actions are happening, and you can audit this if you need to. The final area within content management is a full surveys generation area, so very similar to tools like SurveyMonkey, where you can put together surveys and you can share them with your users to gain thought, so that you can use that for continued improvements internally. What we then have is a full learning analytics area. If we can have the next slide, please, which can help your organisation track and digest all of the different areas that I've just spoke around. So we've got a full data analytics area from a few different dashboards, but what this essentially enables you to do is track and digest all of the important data, where you can create some visual dashboard views, or you can create your own reports, so that you can ensure all of the data that is necessary to be seen is being seen by the correct stakeholders. The main feature, or one of the main features that can support this, is the report scheduler, and this will enable those reports to be sent to key stakeholders within the organisation automatically, so that all of the data is being shared with the key people at the key times. Next slide, please, Stacey. Sorry, Wendy. So when we look at Astute versus the Lumos platform, there are a number of areas that can really provide you with a number of enhancements, from content, the way in which you manage events and can share the different activities within the platform, through to the integration mechanisms that can be added, things like SSO and API. The amount of automation that the platform can offer you can really improve and reduce the administrative burden of running different training programs, and also the detailed reporting can actually help you deep dive into how your employees are engaging with the course content that you've put out, to make sure that the compliance audit reports are in place for you. So moving away from the Asu platform and talking to you about the off-the-shelf content that DeltaNet offer. As mentioned, we specialise in the 3 areas: compliance, health and safety, and performance management. And we've also got the bespoke capabilities to help you with any customisations. Now, when we look at our methodology with how we put content together, as Darren mentioned, not only do we look at very similar topic areas of what Cylix offers, but offer a larger range, we also try to provide our customers with greater choice with how they can put together training programs. And what is really at the heart of how we put content together is what we like to call a collection concept. Now, the collection concept is providing you with a very cost-effective solution because it's providing a number of off-the-shelf courses designed and developed to a couple of different standards, so that it then also provides you with flexibility with how you put training programs together. Some of the key styles that we offer, you can see here, which are detailed study, immersive courses, macro learning, which is the Take 5 suite Darren mentioned, adaptive courses, toolbox talks, and communication resources. And what this gives you the ability is to put together really robust training programs that utilize and lean on these different styles of resources at different times, because they've all got their own benefits, they've all got their own key features, and they've all got their own reasons as why they would be really useful at different points within a learner's journey, looking at a 2-3 year training program. When we look to apply the collection concept to our content, if we can have the next slide, thank you. You can see that from compliance, performance, and health and safety, we've got a number of these assets weaved within those, so that you've got a lot of choice there as to how you put together a training program. And what we see with the integration of Cylix is this concept is only strengthened because you will have more depth of content available from both DeltaNet and Cylix coming together than you would from just Cylix or DeltaNet. So together we are better together, and our combined portfolio puts together over 280 courses that you can access to train across those key topic areas, so that you are really accessing, an enhanced library of course content, and you've also got access to that course content through an enhanced platform. Now, within those topic areas, some of the key topic areas for compliance that we can support organisations with are things like anti-bribery and corruption training, anti-money laundering training, cybersecurity, data protection, equality and diversity, FCA compliance, and also modern slavery. They're just the key topic areas. I think we've got over 20 topic areas within the compliance area, including the topics that Cylix offer as well. Within health and safety, some of the key topic areas we've got are things like fire safety, manual handling, risk assessments, slips and tricks, your health and safety. It also goes into remote working, display screen equipment, so everything that you would expect to see in order to ensure your organisation is protected and your employees are upskilled from a health and safety perspective. Performance management then offers you some key topic areas such as customer service, equality and diversity. There's been a really big push on mental health and well-being with a brand new collection of courses integrated into that performance suite recently, but also leadership training content from recruitment and selection, and also manager guides. Now, DeltaNet International have a number of key partnerships with subject matter experts to create all of this course content, and what that's enabled us to do is have our content independently verified by the CPD certificate and also ROSPA for health and safety, so that all of our customers are rest assured that all of the content we put together carries those badges of approvals, and you can be rest assured that they meet the required standards to keep your organisation safe and protect your employees. The next slide just then gives a insight into how we put content together using the Adapt authoring tool. And Darren mentioned that we weave a number of different learning design styles into our course content so that each one of these training courses feels like a novel learning experience, utilizing gamification, utilizing animation, and a number of different learning design techniques that some of these screen grabs should hopefully provide you with the rest assurances that there are all unique experiences that your learners can go through, which will improve the engagement and improve the interaction that your learners would have. Finally, Darren touched upon it. We work with a number of global organisations, and another way in which we can support your organisations is with multilingual content. So the Asu Platform is translated into 35 languages as standard, and we've also got a number of ways in which we can provide translated content to your learners as well. So we've translated courses into up to 29 courses for organisations, so that if your organisation did have additional languages as a requirement, we're able to support that need further for you. So this is the last slide I've been asked to talk to you, so I'm going to pass you across now to Wendy, who's going to talk to you a little bit more around what that means for you as an organisation and some of the key next steps.
That's great. Thank you so much, Joe, for that really comprehensive overview of the courses and platform that are now available to Cylix customers through this new partnership and this new relationship. So let's take a look at what the integration with DeltaNet will mean for you as a Cylix customer. So firstly, the Cylix team remains largely unchanged, with all remaining, with the exception of Stephen Price, who will be moving on from the business on the 21st of October. I will be looking after all existing customers moving forward, and I've already had the pleasure of meeting many of you already, with lots of meetings also in the diary. For any technical or support queries, please continue to email support@cylix.co.uk as you've always done. All existing Cylix services will remain, so you can continue to benefit from the great quality courses as you've always done. However, the integration brings many additional products and services for you now to choose from, including 235 additional courses across a range of fresh, different formats, and of course the Astute learning experience platform that we've heard Joe speak about this afternoon. Should you wish to migrate over from Illumos. So if you'd like to find out more, please do get in touch, and I'll be happy to explore the options with you. You'll also start to see a few changes over the next few weeks, many of which come into force on the 1st of November. So as of the 1st of November, DeltaNet will become your data processor. You don't need to sign or return anything, but I'll shortly be sending you a new data processing agreement for your records. All existing Cylix license agreements will automatically be reassigned to DeltaNet, so nothing will change until your renewal. Upon your renewal, we'll look to align your Cylix license with DeltaNet's license agreement and send you an updated agreement for your records. Over the next few weeks, we'll also plan to consolidate bank accounts and invoicing procedures, so you'll expect to receive invoices from DeltaNet International as of the 1st of November 2021. As of the 1st of November, your license will transfer from Cylix to DeltaNet, although the services you receive will remain unchanged. You might need to change your supplier from Cylix to DeltaNet, so I'll send you all the company details you need and we'll write to you again when it's time to change the bank account you pay, which will of course also be included in your invoice that we send you. As we've heard from Joe, the merger also brings many additional products and services for you, including Astute. Should you wish to migrate from Illumos over to Astute to take advantage of its great features, please get in touch. Many Cylix customers have already made the move to Astute, and we have a comprehensive migration process already in place to ensure a smooth transition for you. The integration also brings an expanded library of 235 additional mobile responsive, compliance, health and safety and performance courses for you to choose from. And DeltaNet's talented development team are experts at crafting bespoke courses and tailoring existing courses to meet any specific needs you may have, either now or in the future. It's worth mentioning that any course developed by DeltaNet has been built in the Adapt authoring tool. And a license for this is included with any DeltaNet course purchase. This gives you the flexibility of personalizing any DeltaNet course yourself to best suit your needs, or creating brand new courses from scratch if you so wish. As we approach your renewal, we'll be in contact with you to discuss your options moving forwards and explore with you the best options for you based on your needs. You'll still be able to use the same products and services you do now, or you can choose to take advantage of the other great products now available to you. It's entirely up to you. So in summary, over the next few weeks, I'll be sending you a new data processing agreement for your records. As your renewal is due, you'll also receive a DeltaNet license agreement as opposed to a Cylix one. And I'll also send you DeltaNet's company details and bank information should you need to set us up as a new supplier. If you need us to complete a new supplier form, please pop that over to me and I'll complete that and get that back for you. If you'd like to have access to any of the additional DeltaNet courses that Joe's talked about today for your internal evaluation, or if you'd like to discuss moving over to Astute, please do get in touch and we can pop a call in the diary to explore that further with you. So thank you for listening. We'll now take any questions you have. So please, if you'd like to pop your questions into the chat and we'll read those out and answer those for you.
I think we've had one question in from Barbara, who has asked a question as to whether or not the existing tailored content in the course can be further customised upon renewal, and if there's a pricing change. So a couple of questions there. First of all, any existing customisation done by Cylix will carry forward, so that will work as it does now. As an alternative solution, as we've covered off today, in many, if not all of the areas where you've got a Cylix course available, there would be alternative courses available from DeltaNet that you could utilise as well, just to keep it fresh for your learners. And as Wendy mentioned, using the Adapt authoring tool, it's possible to customise absolutely any aspect of that course. We can either do that for you, or we can show you how to do that and allow you to do that yourself. So yes, you've got additional options there in terms of course customization. Unfortunately, until the Cylix courses, we've had a chance to work with the Cylix team around perhaps moving those across into Adapt. You are going to be limited to the same extent as you are now on those particular courses, but more opportunities on the DeltaNet one. In terms of pricing, in terms of pricing, we don't want to get too deep into pricing here now, but in a very basic sense, if at your renewal stage you wanted to take a very similar scope of courses and utilize that on the Astute platform to get the benefits of some of the Astute platform, there's not going to be any considerable change to the pricing there. There may be a small onboarding fee as a one-off charge for migrating to Astute, and that's really because Astute is so much more sophisticated and you can do so much more with it that there's an investment in terms of understanding those extra features and facilities. But it's in the region of hundreds of pounds, not thousands of pounds. It's a relatively straightforward process. I think at renewal stage or even mid-contract, if you are keen to expand your use of the course catalogue so that you're using more courses, then we'd love to engage in a separate conversation about what that looks like for individual organisations.
Just to build on that actually, Darren, as well, so the migrations that we're doing at the moment, we've got a number of customers that are coming over from Illumos over to Astute, and we're managing that process with the DeltaNet support team as well. So the data can be transferred out from your Illumos platform and moved over to Astute, and also the courses that you're deploying through the Illumos platform will be moved over. So we're kind of making that as simple as possible for you. Now there's another question here from Paul Cutting saying, we currently use the Cylix data protection SCORM package. Will you continue to support this. So yes is the answer to that. So any current contractual license agreements that you've got with us, you'll continue to enjoy the same courses deployed to the same platforms. If you've got your own learning management system, Paul, which I'm assuming you have, then that will remain the same. As Darren's mentioned, on your renewal, there may be other options that you'd like to look at, maybe mixing the Cylix course with some of the DeltaNet courses, or if you want to continue with the Cylix data protection course, then we'll continue to deliver that to your own learning management system for you to host internally. Okay, now there's another question from Kathy McGowan. Calling from Northern Ireland, and courses here are under a different legislative framework. Can I customise at this level? So
yeah.
I'll let Darren to take that one.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Certainly, yes, you can, particularly if you were to take a DeltaNet alternative because of the adapt authoring capability. I guess one of the things that we would say around certainly DeltaNet's approach to developing courses is to, as much as possible, detach specific legislation from good practice principles and behaviours that we encourage in the workplace. So we tend to talk a lot less about specific legislation, but really focus in on the key behaviours and principles that you want your staff to employ. So I think it's a question of picking that up with you separately, looking at where the sticky points are with your current content and seeing how we can best fix that, either by allowing you extended customization capability or alternative courses which are already more aligned to your requirements.
Great, thank you. There's another question from Kathy that I'm going to direct to Joe. So can you upload video content and create page content with multiple video resources within Astute, I'm guessing?
Yeah, the simple answer to that is yes, and there's a couple of ways in which we could support and facilitate that for you. One way in which I've worked with a number of our current customers to upload video content is through the Adapt authoring tool, because it not only allows you to edit our course content, but it allows you to create courses from scratch. So people have created a very simple video course that shares the video, and then they can add content underneath that video and share it with users. So yes, you would be able to create that kind of video resource bank as part of the Asu platform.
Great, that's brilliant. Thanks, Joe.
Just to chip in as well, we are currently working on a big project with one of our larger clients, WH Smith's, the retailer, where we're building in a social aspect to the platform, which works in a similar way to a social media feed, but videos can be shared on that as well. So that's a release that's due to come out on Astute at the end of October. And certainly once that comes on, you'll have much more flexibility around sharing additional content into a work-based social media stream as well through the same platform.
That's great, thanks, Darren. There's another question from Janelle Kelly. As a university, our current contracts allow our students to undertake our Cylix courses via SCORM packages through our VLE Moodle. Will this still be possible if we don't move to Astute? Absolutely, Janelle is the answer to that question. So we will continue to share your Cylix courses as we do now for you to download through our customer zone, for you to then upload into your own learner management system. And we can do a similar thing should you wish to take any of the DeltaNet courses for hosting in your own learner management system as well. And Moodle is a platform that many of our customers, particularly our Cylix education customers, use.
Yeah, and I guess just to chip in and extend on that, that's a very natural requirement for DeltaNet and DeltaNet's customers too. We have around about 10% of our customer base that don't use Astute but use our own third-party learning management system. So we're very geared up to supporting that type of situation.
Great. So I don't believe we've got any more questions, unless anyone would like to pop anything else into the chat. But just to follow up, please do get in touch if you'd like to discuss anything further or book in a meeting with me, and we can explore the options and set you up with some access and demo versions of Astute for you. And yeah, thank you for listening this afternoon. It's been great to have you.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you everyone.